Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I'm here to do a much anticipated Booktube-a-thon TBR. So I am participating in the Booktube-a-thon again this year, trying to read as many books as I did 2 years ago, trying to achieve all the reading challenges. All the information I'm going to leave down below in the description box. You can follow the Booktube-a-thon channel. The host, Ariel Bassett, explains everything you need to know in videos, and this includes the reading challenges. And so this video is going to be a TBR pile of all the books I'm planning to read during the Booktube-a-thon and what they are trying to achieve. So by reading these books, what challenges I'm trying to complete so that I can complete the 7 challenges, hopefully, or at least 6 of them. I'm going to leave challenge number 1 for the end, because it's about deciding what book I start with. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump to the second challenge, which is read a book about something you want to do. Now, for this, it was pretty hard for me to find a book for this, because I couldn't find a book about publishing in terms of like what do I want to do like career-wise. One thing that I do want to do one day with friends or with my boyfriend is a road trip, and so because of that I chose An Abundance of Catherines by John Green. Now this is one of the few books by John Green that I haven't read yet, and I've heard about it. I've bought it a long time ago. One of my friends really likes it. A lot of people say it's their least favorite John Green book. Either way, I know it's quite fast to read. I know I'm gonna fly through it. And another challenge that this book actually completes, it's the challenge number 4, read a book with green on the cover, because if you can see right there, it has a circle, and the circle is green. So I know it's about the Venn diagrams that they do and everything. I find this kind of nerdy humor very comfortable, because that's the kind of humor my friends have. Kind of, unfortunately, but no, because I find it funny. I'm really excited to see what this is about, to read it. I've been putting it on TBRs for the longest time, but I think this time I will indeed read it. The second book in my TBR that will complete some challenges, a classic, surprisingly, because we are in the Booktube-a-thon and you want to read it fast. But there is one of my favorite authors, as everyone that follows me on this channel knows, is Jane Austen. I've read almost all of her books, except a few. So right now they're missing, I think, only 2, which are Northanger Abbey and Mansfield Park. Now, Northanger Abbey is in itself a book that you would assume I would read. I really like realist art authors. I really like the more critical part of Jane Austen, and I really do love the story of Northanger Abbey. I think it's really, really sweet, and I think I will truly enjoy it. So one of the books I want to read is Northanger Abbey in this beautiful edition with this smooth cover yet still. It was one of the older editions that they did, which still had that matte finish, in the Penguin English Library. And this is a very short book, it's not the shortest I have a shorter one here, but it's like 200 pages, something like that, 230 pages, around that number. And this book will cover challenge number 3, which is read and watch a book to movie adaptation. Now, I couldn't find a book that I hadn't read yet, that I hadn't watched adaptation. Or if I did had some of those, they were huge, so they were not Booktube-a-thon ideal. So what I will do is I will read this for the first time, and I will then watch the adaptation, which I own, because I am that kind of fan. The adaptation I have is with Felicity Jones and Gigi Field. I think that's his name. I really enjoy that adaptation. I've watched it several times. That's why I know the story. I know I will enjoy this book. I also love Jane Austen's writing style. I mean, she's one of my favorite authors. She is my favorite author. So yeah, this book covers that challenge, but it also covers challenge number 6, which is read a book with a beautiful spine. Now, Portuguese publishers they are not quite there yet in terms of like making the books really pretty, because they're already so expensive and they are not that pretty anyway. So I was debating some of them. Like you can see here, there are quite a few pretty books, but I'm most attracted to their cover than their spine. But there is these editions, and I do have quite a few now. I love them because not only do they have the prettiest covers, I love this pattern and like the colors, and yeah, I really love it. I love reading these editions. They are so comfortable for me to read. But they also look pretty cool all next to each other. This one, you can kind of see the blue sometimes when it's on the bookshelf, but it's mostly red and orange. I find it pretty, and because this is subjective, I will consider this as something that covers challenge number 6, which is really a book with a beautiful spine, because I do find that these books altogether, they have such beautiful spines and they look so pretty together. Now there is one challenge that's really a challenge, and that Arrow set for us, and that is read a book while wearing the same hat the entire time, the whole time. And for that I thought, well, this is gonna be hard because I will not this time be in Algarve. I will not be in the sun, I will not be, you know, by the pool most of the time. So I wanted to pick up something that was fast, that I could, you know, just read in one sitting maybe, so that I don't have to think about the logistics of it very much. And because of that, I picked up this book that not quite a book, that I picked up in London while I was there, which is England, Your England by George Orwell. Now this is one of those little penguin books that they publish called Great Ideas, and I have another one of his, which is a political one about like politics and the English language. I think it's Politics and the English Language that's called. And I've heard about this. I had it in my wish list on Book Depository, but it didn't have a cover. And one day I was browsing through Waterstones and I found it, and I just picked it up because it's so cheap. It's £2. This is really short. You can read this in one sitting. You just have to kind of force yourself to it. Maybe I won't even have to force myself to it because it is really interesting, and I do love English culture, and George Orwell is an amazing writer. So yeah, so this covers challenge number 5, hopefully, which is read a book while I'm wearing the same hat the whole time. And I think I'm gonna achieve that, but I will vlog and keep you posted on that, because I am planning on vlogging my journey through Booktube-a-thon this year. Now there's 2 challenges left. The 7th one is read 7 books, and for this I'm gonna show you now all the other books I'm planning on reading, and then we go to challenge number 1. So to complete the 7 books, I have a few here that I think I'm gonna read fast and that I'm really interested in. As you've noticed, the ones that cover the challenges the most are shorter, but these ones are books that I think I will read fast, and I'm quite interested in reading them. So the first one is The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. This was the second book Becky Albertalli published. She's the author of Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, and more recently Leah on the Offbeat. I want to read that one, but I've been wanting to read this one first. I like to read them by publication order when I do have a few of the same author, and so because I'm really interested about reading this book, and this was actually the first book by her that I picked up, I want to read this one, and I know that I will fly through this, and it's usually her writing style is really funny and fast to read and enjoyable. So yeah, the next one is one of my most exciting purchases, guys. So I did tell you that I wouldn't buy more books in June, and I didn't. I bought books the other day, like 2 days ago, and only 3. They are beautiful. I'm not going to talk about them here because most of them I won't be reading during the Booktube-a-thon, but one of them I will, because I fly through her books. I love them. I love the topics. I love the way she writes the characters. There's a lot of shame in loving chick lit, or, you know, contemporary adult for women. But this book is, I mean, this author is so funny and so clever, and the things she writes are really are funny. It's like watching a rom-com, because, you know, like those situation funny bits where like things just start happening and the protagonist cannot control the situation. That's a lot of what happens in this author's books. I love her books. I'm trying to collect them all. That's basically it. This is her most recent release, and I'm so excited that it was in the bookshop the other day. I don't know who remembered to bring it here, but thank you. And that's Surprise Me by Sophie Kinsella. I love Sophie Kinsella, and don't hate chiclet. Just don't, just try it. If you are Portuguese, try it in English. So my battery died and my card won't start, so I had to change SD cards as well. But I was saying, what I'll be reading is Sophie Kinsella. Apparently this one is about an already established couple, so Sylvie and Dan, they are married for 10 years, and so he starts trying to make a surprise or something. I'm really excited to see what this is about, because the romances are always really cute, but you know who the couple's gonna be by the end of it, like that's obvious. So what I find beautiful is the way they get there, so like the story, stuff like that. And because of that, I'm really excited to read this book. The last one I have here is one called Royal Love Stories. I have it in Portuguese. I bought it at the Lisbon Book Fair a couple of years ago. It's just because it's gonna be a really fast read. It's about couples and royalty, so everything that I'm obsessed with. And so because of that, I really do want to read it, and it's gonna be really fast read. So this is in my TBR pile just for the purpose of completing the 7 books challenge, and because, I mean, it's in my shelf, so I should read it soon rather than later. I forgot to record this bit in the beginning when I originally filmed this video, and so the light is a little different, but I do have I have an extra book, so the 7th book to like finish the 7 books challenge. Of course, all of these books that don't complete challenges may change, but this book actually completes some challenges, so I can read this instead of something else. And because the Booktube-a-thon is hosted by Ariel Bissett, and she inspired this purchase, I think it makes all the sense to read Frida Kahlo, a biography by Maria Esse. I bought this recently, I hauled it recently. I bought it in Brazil, so this is a Brazilian edition by a Brazilian publisher. But this sounds like, I mean, there's a lot of drawings, a lot of illustrations. It's a beautiful book, and I do want to read it. And I think now is the time to read it, because all around us there's Frida Kahlo everywhere. So yeah, I think it will be amazing to read. I mean, if I do read it, it also covers the challenge of reading the cover, so that's great. And so I just wanted to quickly add this little tiny clip in the video, because I had forgotten to mention this one, or better yet, I remember to add this one to my to be read pile for the Booktube-a-thon, because I think it's going to be a fast read, and it makes all the sense to read this during the Booktube-a-thon. That being said, let's go to the last challenge, so the first challenge of this the first reading challenge of this Booktube-a-thon is let a coin toss decide which book you start with. So I'm gonna do that on camera. So I did have a €1 coin here saved for this, but I've lost it because it's easier to see. So I'm gonna use a 20-cent one. You have cara e croa. How do you call that in English? Head or tails, right? So cara, head, tails, croa. Yeah, so head, tails. I know in Portuguese, so I'm gonna translate to that afterwards. And the 2 books I'm gonna be choosing between is Sophie Kinsella's and Becky Albertalli's book, because those are the 2 that I'm most excited to read. Okay, so Sophie Kinsella's book is gonna be Heads, and Becky Albertalli's book is gonna be Tails. So in Portuguese, Becky Albertalli's book is Sophie Kinsella's book is gonna be Cara, and Becky Albertalli's book is gonna be Croa. Okay, Cara, Croa. Okay, I will say it in that order. Okay, let's do this. I am ridiculous. Okay, let's do this. As you can see, it was Tails, Croa. So I'm gonna start with Becky Albertalli's book, and let's see what happens. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you read a lot during the Booktube-a-thon as well. Don't forget to tell me what do you think about the TBR in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe or give it a thumbs up. And I will see you soon with a new video soon. Goodbye!